Hi, everyone. This is Gary Kay. This is a visual version of my Rant to Race podcast. Of course, we are heading to InfoComm, as everyone in the AV industry is, in the next week or so. And I'm excited to be joined by two famous people that you don't even know are famous until you find out who they are here today. And that's Ariel Marcus and Elron Toran. They are the co-founders of Media Solutions. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm excited to be joined by you guys because one of the things that has sort of been pervasive in the industry for, I don't know, half a dozen years now is the emergence of HD-based T. And I suspect that everyone watching this podcast has built systems using HD-based T, and everyone watching this podcast has had the problems that your product solves with HD-based T. So that's the first way I want to talk about this. So your company's called Media Solutions, and I'd like to talk about it's called the MS Test or Media Solutions Test Pro. So Ariel, Elron, I'll let you guys take it away and tell us a little bit about what the Test Pro does, because it's one of my favorite products for HD-based T.
Okay, hello Gary, and thank you. What we're going to present is the MS Test Pro. The MS Test Pro is an HD-based T tester. This is the unit that will give the installer all the ability to understand exactly what's going on the cable. It is a modular unit. It is built out of two units, transmitter and receiver. And the installer has the ability to connect if he needs, prior to installing the equipment, he connects the TX and the RX, he can replace it, detachable. And once he wants to understand if the link is up, he goes into the screen, very user-friendly and very initiative. I will show you.
Let me ask you something. We're going to do a demo of this, and this is what's really cool about this. So basically, I want to make sure everybody understands. So it's got a transmitter and a receiver, and you run the HD-based T signal through it from whatever device you have connected. And therefore, that gives you the ability, it's an in-field testing product. So every integrator who's doing HD-based T systems needs to have this in their toolkit. And what it does, it'll tell you what's working and what's not working, what signals are going through HD-based T. Because here's one of the problems with HD-based T, and you guys know this as much as anybody. So, I'll stop before I tell everyone where the problems are. I want them to understand where you guys came from. So tell them what company you just came from before you started your company.
Okay, so I was the VP Sales, Worldwide Sales of Valence, the inventor of HD-based T. I was more than 5 years working there, and we sold millions of chips. So,
yeah, exactly. And one of the problems with HD-based T is, Valence, so Valence makes the chip, and they've formed this HD-based T alliance, which
correct.
is sort of an alliance of all the companies that are using the HD-based T technology. And although they're basically kind of controlled by the same people, I think it's a conflict of interest, because one of the I like HD-based T. I think it's a great system. So I want to preface this with, when someone builds a product properly using HD-based T, and the whole concept of HD-based T, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's 5-play. So there's 5 different signals that run through HD-based T that allow you to send it through Cat-X cable, depending on the resolution of the signal. And that's video, audio, control, Ethernet, and
power.
What am I forgetting? Power. That's right. So here's the problem, though. If you buy an HD-based T product from Extron, and you buy an HD-based T product from Atlona, or you buy an HD-based product from Crestron, or an HD-based T product from name any company, they're not going to work together. There's sometimes they'll work together, but most of the time you're plugging a transmitter with a different receiver, or using someone else's transmitters with, say, an Extron HD-based T matrix switcher, and all of a sudden some of it's working and some of it's not. Your product solves that problem. So we'll get back to that in just a second. The problem with it is that the so-called HD-based T alliance, which is sort of, in my opinion, a fake alliance, isn't managing their own standard. And I've written a number of articles about that, saying that, look, this is a great system ruined by the people who actually created the system, by the fact that they're not managing their own standard. They're not saying that, in other words, they're not labeling. They're certifying, but they're not labeling which things are 5-play, 4-play, 3-play, whatever term you want to use. Because some people are building HD-based systems that do video and audio, but not control power and Ethernet, for example. Would you agree with what I've said so far? And I know you got to be a little bit political because you all came from Valence, the chip company.
I agree with the fact that today, when an installer wants to install a Crestron with an Extron, he has no idea if the Crestron has the 5-play, 4-play, 3-play, or the Extron has a 2-play. So this is where they encounter the problem. And you know, if a video works, because you know video is basic and everyone has the video, but the IR could not be, you know, activated, or the power could not be activated, they have no idea. In our tool,
Exactly.
they will see exactly if they have an IR transmitter or an IR receiver, if they have Ethernet, if it is supported Class A, which is the 100 meter, or the Class B, which is 70 meter. And this is where we found what the market need on the installers need.
Exactly. So you've got a little test product that you hook up transmitter receiver, whatever you're transmitting, whatever your receiver is, the line on each end, and it will tell you what's going through the signal, what's not going through the signal, and what the signal is capable of doing. And that's the most important part, so that you're sort of creating a way to standardize HD-based. And the good thing about this from my perspective is that people will find out which products work properly and which products don't, or which products are spec'd one way but are actually working a different way. So it's going to call to the task, or call it to the carpet, for lack of a better term, the manufacturers who are they're not exactly exaggerating their specs, they're just not giving all the information. And I don't blame that on the manufacturer. I blame that on Valens, and I blame that on the HD-based Alliance. So I'm not saying the manufacturers are at fault here. So I'd like for you to demonstrate the product. You've shown the product. If you notice that the transmitter receiver pull apart, so they fit together nicely. You have the transmitter and the receiver. You have it's not plugged in, so they can't see this, but that's a color LCD panel on the top of it that allows you to see the signal integrity, I guess you would say, and all the specs for the signal, right?
Yeah, we can share the screen maybe now.
Yes,
and we can show exactly the two different views that we have. Let's do that. Share screen. Okay, perfect. So now what you're seeing actually is the two different type of displays. One is the HD-based T. It's the MS Test Pro going through the tester on the LCD. This is on the right side. And on the left side, we have the interface, the Wi-Fi interface for the web app.
Right, so there's two ways to see the signal information. On the right, you're emulating what you would see if you were looking at it on the actual Test Pro. And on the left side of the screen, we're seeing what it looks like when you log into it through a web browser.
Yeah, exactly.
So in other words, an installer has the ability of using the tester two modes. One of them local on the LCD itself. And if, let's say, he's on a 10 meter ladder and is way above on the ceiling, he can look at it via his iPhone or Android device or even a laptop.
Perfect. Okay, so show us some of the things that it tells us and what we can do with it.
Okay, so let's say the most, a very important one is, first of all, the configuration. Once he presses the configuration, he presses on the transmit, and he sees now what the transmit unit has. We can see the pixel clock, we can see the chip class. Class A is 100 meter, Class B is 70 meter. We can see even the chip type, VS100 or VS10. We also support the future generation, which is the Coligo with the USB. So it's the same tester, just different units. You can see that it's HD-based T mode. You can see the cable length, which is 76 meters. We also have an ability to do it feet. You can see that there is a video, and the most important stuff is the system features. You can see that the unit that is now connected does not support Ethernet, does not support IR, no UART, which is the RS-232, and does not support the IR receiver. Because our unit is a testing unit. But if I will connect on the other end a unit that has IR Ethernet, you will see a green check.
Right. So this is key, because when you have something that you've connected and all of a sudden it's not working, you don't know if it's not working because there's a problem in the system, or in this case, and in a lot of cases for installers with HD-based T, it may not be working simply because the product they're actually using doesn't even support IR or doesn't even support Ethernet because it wasn't meant for that. And,
exactly.
And the problem is you're reading HD-based T as a customer or as an integrator and thinking 5-play because that's what they're promoting. And then, but in reality, you're only getting, in this case, 3 play.
Because not everything is being supported. Now, in this window, you can also see which unit is the local one and which one is the remote one, seeing exactly the same parameters of the remote unit. So if you're attaching the unit to a projector, for example, from any vendor which has an integrated HD-based port, you will be able to see exactly the configuration of the projector, exactly what it is supporting and what it's not supporting. For example, the UART is an important part in order to control the projector. So you will be able to know if you can or can't do that. The same information is also available on the LCD, on the touch screen. If I look at it now, you will see exactly the same information which is available for the transmitter. It indicates the transmitter is local with a different firmware version, with the pixel clock rate running through the system at the moment, with the cable length, which is also an important parameter to understand if you can go with a 1080p or you are limited with class A to 70 meter with a 4K. So those are the parameters that will be presented both on web app and on the touch screen.
Okay,
right,
and
so
another
let me back up real quick to make sure that everyone understands. So basically, you'll notice on the web browser version of the screen on the left side, you're seeing the same specs on the right side, except on the right side, you're emulating what you'd actually see on the Test Pro product itself, which is a product that you guys manufacture. This is actually made by Media Solutions.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So
Correct.
Go ahead. I apologize.
Okay, and on top of that, the installer can see once Ariel will move to the receiver exactly which unit he's working on. So you can see that the unit that we're working in front of is a media solution manufacturer, because every alliance member, the Exton, the AMX, they have a vendor ID.
Right.
So we will tell him, okay, you're working in front of a Kramer unit. You're working in front of a Crestron unit. And this is also very important. Also, it applies for projectors or digital signage displays.
Yeah, so then if you've got a system with a lot of products in it, you can tell what is connected to what. And a lot of times you have a bunch of cable in a rack and you're not sure what's going to what without having to follow the cable back. Not everything's labeled properly, so this allows you to do that as well.
Exactly, and also when you connect a transmitter to a transmitter by mistake, the system will tell you, okay, you're connected a transmitter to a transmitter, and it will tell you. Okay, another important feature is the link quality. We will move now to the performance.
Okay.
And in the performance, we will see again the transmitter or receiver, and we will see two terms which are max error rate and MSE error rate. Okay, these are HD-based standard terms, okay? Mm-hmm. The max error rate is a number which is between 1 to 5. As long as it is below 1.9, and you can see we added 2 thresholds, okay, for installers who don't know and don't, recall what does the standard say. As long as you're below the yellow line, you're on the safe zone, and this is a perfect installation, okay? You can leave, and don't worry. They will not call you because of performance issues.
What we can see here, once again, is the performance of the remote unit as it sees it. For example, in our case, it's the receiver side, and how we see the link quality of the main link of the video transmission, and how far he is from and let's say it this way, how deep he is in the safe area, so that any noise or interference coming from the field, from electricity or any other noise generator, will not affect the transmission in a way that it will fail the video. The definition is that the threshold should be below 1.9 for a video pixel clock rate of 1080p and so on, and it should not be above 0.9 for a 4K resolution, okay? This is driven from the different resolutions and the pixel clock rate running through the system.
So this is sort of a way to test the cable that's been installed as well. I mean, this will tell you whether or not you've got, because you could have cable problems.
Exactly. What you can see here, you see A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D means the 4 pairs in the Cat5 or Cat6 cable. So they will know exactly which pair has the problem.
Yep.
And now if we will move to the MSC error, we will see that this is the attenuation of the cable.
Yep.
And you see
that's
now
measuring it. You're now seeing attenuation specifications there.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Now there are not some of the installers might be intimidated from this, detailed information. So we added a basic test. A basic test is a basic screen that if the installer will get into the basic screen, this is the basic test, he will see a general link quality. Now you see that this general link quality is green, so it means he's on the green side, he's on the safe zone. From his point of view, the installation is 100% okay.
Yep.
So actually what we are seeing is the overall performance of the link in this case. We can see how the transmitter with the downlink is seeing the link quality with the low bandwidth, covering the Ethernet and several controls, and how the receiver is seeing the data. We can see the pixel clock rate that the system was tested with. Currently, it's running at 1080p. We know the configuration and we know the cable length. Those are the basic information that an installer or integrator will need during the time that he's installing the equipment, and he can get those information even before bringing the equipment on site. Means while the low power guy put the cables, he's able to know if the installation is good or bad.
And on top of that, we also added an HDMI generator, an EDID reader, and our latest and greatest feature is the generate report data. This is a cable certification, an HD-based link certification. The installer can generate a report that will give him the exact statistics, or let's say the exact performance of the cable. And what we will show you now, we will show you what is the general, how does this report look like.
Okay.
Okay, so what we can see here, the project customer name, the job site, the date he did it, what kind of cable, and the operator name. And second page, he sees the TX.
No, he sees the local unit. In our case, the local unit that was tested was actually the receiver, opposite from what we did in the demo.
Right.
And what we're seeing is, on the top of the page, on the right corner, we're seeing a pass-fail for the local device performance. The pass-fail is based on the different information running through the cable, the chip class, it takes in account the chip class, the chip type, firmware, vendor, cable length, and pixel clock rate. We're seeing the max error testing related to the expected criteria.
Right.
And we're seeing the MSC. Both information with the characteristic of the setup defined if the local device will pass or fail.
Right.
This is one example. The same information is being done for the remote unit, okay? In this case, it's the same. This is a passing test. We see here that the pixel clock rate was 0, means the test was without pixel clock. At the same time, I can show you here, this is another test that was done. And in this test, we see a failing situation exactly because of the performance of the MSC. On this one, the RX was a local device. It failed due to being less above the expected. One of the pair was a problematic one. This is pair D on the category cable on the receiver side. Okay, that's important to understand, because if you need to reconnect the RJ45 connector, you should point directly to the receiver side. So
right.
this is an example.
It may just be something as simple as re-terminating the cable that might fix it because it wasn't terminated right, or it could be something more substantial, but you know which end of the cable it's on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is a really neat. Not only does it give the integrator something to hand the customer that sort of certifies the system, but it also gives them the sort of the confidence that they now understand what's kind of going on behind the scenes. Because in a lot of cases, a lot of this equipment is just sort of smoke and mirrors. In other words, you connect it up and you just hope it keeps working, but you're giving them a certification as to what is working, why it's working, and where the problems might be. And all this is contained within the Test Pro tester, which has that transmitter receiver combination together. By the way, what is the list price of the Test Pro?
Okay, we have two models. One of them is without the Wi-Fi connection and the pattern generator, which is 1395. And the unit which is with the pattern generator and the Wi-Fi is 1595.
So $1,395 US without the generator, and did you say $1,595 with it? Is that what you said?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And for those of you that don't know Media Solutions, you can find them at M4, the number 4, SOL, M4SOL.com. And this is not just a company building a product out of the blue here. Both these gentlemen came from Valens, and that's, by the way, for those of you who don't know, that Valens chip is in every HDBaseT product. So they're all that's the commonality among all the HDBaseT products, is that they're using the same chip. So therefore, it means that you have a closed system in a way. So it's easy to identify with a test generator like this, test product like this, to generate information on where exactly the problem is and how to fix the problem. But the other thing is, it will let you know when you're connecting disparate equipment together what's going to work and what's not going to work, or why it's working and not working. So this is a really good product, and I'm excited to have done this demo today. So if you could release the screen sharing real quick, and we'll have a chance to sort of see you guys again, and let's talk about your InfoComm presence. So can we do that real quick?
Yep.
Okay,
done.
Excellent. Yep, so let's see if we can find your booth number. It did not pop up on my screen. Do you know your booth number at InfoComm by any chance? I should have had that at my fingertips, but for some reason it's not there. I apologize. Let's see if I can find it.
3761.
Yeah, you're in 3761 at InfoComm, and this is your first InfoComm show as a not with Valens and not with HDBaseT, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
we also, Gary, we also have a training session during the InfoComm show on Friday, 10:30. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's IP65. This is the training seminar that we are providing. That we also provide RU points, 1.5 RU points for the InfoComm session.
Yeah, so if you need InfoComm CTS RUs, check them out. It's Friday. Did you say Friday at 1 o'clock? Yeah. What did you say? Friday at 1 o'clock. Okay. All right.
Friday 10:30.
10:30. Okay. So Friday at 10:30. Go ahead.
And what we will do is, one of the lucky participants in this training will win an MS Test Pro.
Oh, perfect. So go by the booth and see this 3761, and go see it yourself. I'm going to go by personally and see it because as everyone knows who's watching this, I've not been a fan of the way HDBaseT has been managed by the organization, the HDBaseT Alliance. I'm a big fan of the concept of the product, and I'm a big fan of the integration of systems in Cat5. It's frustrating to me that it hasn't been sort of managed the way that I think it should have been, because I think it's unfair for the customer and the integrator, because they're sort of the ones that are always blamed. No one ever blames the manufacturer. They're always blaming the person that's sitting in front of them at that moment in time. And again, I don't even blame the manufacturers in this case, because they don't have a lot of control over what the Alliance is doing. So congratulations to you guys. If you've been watching the whole time, as you may know, we're talking to Elron Torin and Ariel Marcus, the founders of Media Solutions. Again, Media Solutions is at M, the letter M, as in media, for SOL.com. So media4solutions.com. I appreciate you guys joining me today, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thanks for watching. Of course, you can see all of our InfoComm coverage at ravepubs.com. Have a great day.